friends are having a great time. It's not face to face, it's all online. We're all in our homes, miles away. Love them like my family, what can I say? My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone. Don't call or text me, it's about to begin. I've been patient, time for me to chime in. Comfy clothes on, feeling just fine. I'm busy right now, it's crafting show time. My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone. The host came on, they are truly a gem.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Let's have a good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Hey, Gifted Crafters, and welcome back to another morning show. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I see everyone tuning in from all over the place. Maryland, Texas. Awesome. Oh boy, a lot of hot weather going on out there in Texas, I guess. Alrighty, from sunny Illinois. Okay, I won't even try to say that, Sue. Wankonda, Illinois. I'm not sure if I said that right. Dallas, Texas, San Antonio, Maryland, California. Awesome. So glad everyone is up and ready to go this morning. Got some notifications on so that we can be here on time. Awesome. That's great. Great. Nice to hear. Well, I hope everyone had a pleasant day yesterday. Today's a new day and we're ready to start it off just right. So welcome to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. And if you're new here, my name is Nancy and I'll be your host today. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or maybe your favorite little drink in the morning and get yourself nice and cozy so we can talk about some crafting stuff going on. Alrighty, I see people rolling in through the chat and getting ready to get started here. Oh, from Ocala, Florida. Hey, neighbor, I'm down in Miami, Florida, where it's been a little bit rainy. Today doesn't seem to be too bad, but yesterday was a little stormy. I think we're expecting some clouds and maybe a little bit more stormy weather today, but we can certainly use the rain, so I really don't mind it. But it's a good time to just kind of stay in your craft room and craft, right? No going out here. Awesome. Okay. I think everyone is tuning in. I see people from Boston. Hey, Kentucky. How are you? Nice. Okay. I think we are good to go here. So go ahead, grab your favorite drink. Let's get nice and cozy. So we got an agenda today and I've got some updates to give you. But, you know, before we get started with all of that stuff, you know, we've got our little food truck that's out there, then we have to get started with that. So don't forget, you know, you can grab your favorite snacks, you can get your little danishes or whatever it is. The food truck's coming along. And I think we have just about anything that you would like to have, and it doesn't have any calories. So, you know, it's all good there. Okay. What's going on now? Did I just see a unicorn? Okay, I don't know what my husband does with these graphics and things, but you know, I think I saw a unicorn going by. Did you guys see that too? But in any event, we have all kinds of things on the food truck, so help yourself to anything that you'd like. Just make the line and no fighting. Alrighty. Hope you guys enjoy that one. So I just have my water. I always start my day with a nice cup of water, and then I kind of move into my coffee. So I'm still on the water. Water girl. Water, water, water. Gotta have it in the day, in the morning, and I've gotta have it at night too. So let me just grab a sip. And let's just get started. Okay, yay, food truck. Yay, yes. A lot of us were waiting on that food truck, right? Yeah. Got all kinds of croissants and bagels and danishes and pastries and all kinds of pastelitos that I love to have. So, alrighty. So, let's kind of move on. I do have quite a number of things to show you guys. We're going to do an update on my farm quilts. I'm really excited about that. Got some going. I'll show you a little bit of progress that I've made on that. And then we're going to talk about a couple of other things. So first off, let's start with our segments. And I think our first segment will be our crafting news. So let's see what's going on out there. Okay. Alrighty. So for those of you in the North Carolina area, that's in Asheville, North Carolina, we've got some crafting folks that we're calling out here. So today, May the 13th, if you head over to the Asheville Tool Library, there'll be a free sewing machine maintenance. This is a workshop that's going to be from 7 to 8:30 p.m. It's a hands-on class that's going to teach you the basics of sewing machine care, simple fixes, and troubleshooting tips. So you don't need to bring your machine, but if you've got one, you can go ahead and bring it along. And spots are limited. You've got to RSVP on Eventbrite. Let's see. And if plans change, please cancel so someone on the waiting list can attend. It is free and donations are welcome. $15 helps the program survive. $25 helps it thrive. So this is a pretty good workshop for sewing machine maintenance. I know, machines often, over time will break down, and this is an excellent place to go. It's a great resource for you to go to really find out what's going on with your machine, to help you on tension and all kinds of things. So these are kind of some experts that are going to be in that area. So if you are in the Asheville, North Carolina area, I would head over to that, and that's from 7 to 8:30 p.m. today. Okay, then we're going to head over to Sandy, Utah, where again we're going to have our Quilt, Craft, and Sewing Festival that's coming to Salt Lake City on May the 15th through the 17th at the Mountain America Expo Center. So this is a 3-day event. It's packed with sewing, quilting, needle art, craft exhibits from all the top brands are going to be there. It's both local and international. You'll find make and tape workshops, free demos, door prizes, and a chance to win a sewing machine. The doors are going to be open from 10 to 5 p.m. Thursday through Friday and 10 to 4 on Saturday. The tickets are $12 for all 3 days, and there's a $2 coupon that you can get online. So just visit quiltcraftsew.com for more information on that one. And for my crafters that are in the New Orleans area, didn't forget you. If you've ever wanted to sew a reusable lunch bag, now's your chance. You can head over to the Algiers Regional Library on May the 16th at 11 a.m. They're going to have a free class that's going to be led by Rick Rack, which is a local nonprofit that teaches sewing and upcycling. You're going to learn how to machine, sew a washable, eco-friendly lunch sack. No experience is needed. Machines, fabrics, and all the supplies are included. And just be sure to register early because the space is limited. And if you want more crafting fun, there's going to be a beginner crochet class at the Nora Navarra Library on May the 19th at 5 p.m. So you'll crochet a cute little keychain, wristlet, and learn the basic stitches like single crochets and a slip stitch. And the hooks and yarns are also provided, or you can go ahead and bring your own. So visit events, visit the website events.nolalibrary.org to sign up. And, you know, it's pretty cool that a lot of these libraries hold a lot of these events. Some of them are free, others are relatively low cost for the benefit that you get. You do get a lot of information. So check out your local library to see if they have any events going on. Sometimes people kind of forget that these are going on, and it's a great resource to get some information there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. We'll continue to look for more things. Don't forget, guys, you can go ahead and fill out a form if you have an event or a birthday shout out that you want to get over to us, and then we will announce that. So hopefully you guys really enjoy a lot of those tidbits, because they're a lot of fun to research and share with you guys. Good morning, good morning. Yes, you've got some people from New Orleans, Louisiana. Awesome. Little late. You're not late, Annette. We're good. We're good. Okay, so we've got our food truck. We've got our crafting news. Let's get into our project, because there's a few things that I want to show you. So let me just grab that. Bring this over. So if you recall, we've been talking about the farm quilt, and you know, it is an embroidery quilt by Sweet Pea. It's done on a 5x7 hoops, which is a pretty small hoop, and I do it on my SE 1900, which is behind me. It's pretty easy to do, and we've talked about different things that we have kind of shared little tips with it, using a pool noodle to roll it up as I put it into the machine, and all kinds of other tips. This is, as you can see, the instructions are pretty thick, because they do give you instructions on laying out the background as well as on the applique itself. But this is where we are now. The last time we met, we had finished the background, and then I embroidered the sun. Well, now I have embroidered 2 more pieces on here. If I can get this unraveled here. There we go. So here's the background, you can see. And now we have a little barn, and we have a windmill on here. So pretty cool. You know, we're starting to see the little background coming together. And now I'm going to start working on the animals. And so I think the first one that I am going to start to position is the little donkey. And so I will start probably with him somewhere up here, and then I'm going to kind of work my way down and start filling in the other areas towards the bottom until I get till the very end. And then once I am done embroidering all of the different animals, and they've got a couple other little background pieces like little bushes and a little fence and things like that. Not sure if I'm going to use all of the pieces, but I'm going to finish it up. And then once I'm done embroidering that, I'm going to go ahead and do the borders. And then we'll be doing the backing and binding, adding the backing to it and do the binding on it. So this is where I'm at. So I'm pretty happy that I was able to kind of finish this. Now, I did not kind of use the same colors that they were suggesting on the file. I kind of went with my own. I had a little fat quarter here that I thought, you know, the colors kind of worked really well with the theme I wanted to do. So as you can see, the barn here, I kind of used some of the fabric from here to put the barn together. And this is kind of a nice way, because a lot of this was applique. It's a nice way to kind of bring your own spin to it and not, you know, kind of really focus in on the colors that they're using. Because if you see here on the picture, they have a little red door. And let me kind of take this off so you guys could see it well. They have a little red door and some brown on here. But I wanted you compare, see how, whoops, I'm going the wrong way here. There we go. See how my barn here has a dark roof and then the red, and then I did a lighter door and a little window, where theirs is just a little bit different. And that's okay. Same thing with the windmill. I decided to go with a steel looking blade color here, which was like a gray and white blend. And then I kind of outlined it with the thread color of the barn that kind of gave it a little bit of an accent to it. So that's how I decided to do that. And then it was a lot of fun kind of mixing and matching and changing things up. So I might go ahead now and just, you know, put the little animals on here and then see how far I can get with that. So yeah, it's more realistic. Exactly, Marlene. You know, it's sometimes you don't want it to come out exactly the way they have it in the picture. So I like to kind of change things up a little bit. And I thought it would be really cute to kind of, you know, do my own spin on it. So I like to use the colors that make me happy as well. So that's what I did with that. And that's where we are here. So we're going to continue with that. And you can see back here, I did use the tearaway on here. So came out pretty good. I still have a little bit of cleanup to do with some tearaway to take off, but not too much. So it's looking good so far. So now let's move over to my next item. So I'm going to kind of just fold this over for right now so I can get this kind of out of the way. Okay. So the next item that I want to talk about is something that someone brought up yesterday about the legit kit. And so I promised you guys I would dig it up. So here it is. This is the legit kit that I have. And this is the one that I'm going to be working on. And so I showed you guys yesterday that I got some binders that came in. And so these are the binders that I'm going to be using to kind of organize the patterns. And then I have to kind of figure out how to organize the fabrics, because I don't think that the fabrics will be able to stay in these notebooks. I think I kind of want something like a hanging file folder so that I can put them in, because those can get pretty thick. So this is what it looks like. So I'm going to pull these out. They give you this little bag when you purchase it. And this is the kit itself. It's called the Little Hooter, which is the one I'm going to be working on. And I'll kind of show you what I mean on here, because it can be a little bit overwhelming when you first pull it up. And they give you a lot of, you know, neat little stuff here, little stickers and things that kind of go here. They give you a little magnet thing that kind of inspires you to know that this is what your end result is going to be. But this is what a lot of the paper piecing looks like. As you can see here, there's tons of paper on here. It does start off with the actual picture, and then it gives you some pattern sizes. This is just so you get an idea of the pattern colors and all of the intricate little pieces. And you can see here, just in that face area, this is going to be very challenging. As you can see here, there are a lot of little pieces that need to come together. So a little bit intimidating here because there's a lot of paper piecing going on there. And when I look at that, I just think of the bulk. You know, the bulk that's going to be in those little pieces, because there's so many tiny pieces you are piecing together. So makes me a little nervous, but this is a picture. It's the finished quilt. It's pretty much the same, but so yeah, lots of info on YouTube on how to organize your legit kit. Yes, there is, and I've been scouring to find different things to see what's going to work for me. I really like this binders for the pattern pieces. I'm not loving it for the fabric. I just feel like it's just going to fall out. Like I need something that's more stable, that I can just kind of do like a file format and I can find the fabric and then pull it up. Which one is this kit? This is called Little Hooter. This is the Little Hooter design, Michelle. It's Little Hooter. And so then the next section is your color guide. And so it has all the fabrics here listed, and all of the fabrics that they give you are actually labeled. And so there's a lot of organizing that you have to do before you actually get started here. So this is your color guide. A lot of people will use these as their labels. And then you have the fabric list by the color code. It gives you that as well. That becomes really helpful. And then you have your assembly guide, and this kind of you just use later on after you've already done all of the different paper piecing templates. So you have your assembly guide that tells you how to assemble it, and that is a pretty big section here. And then after you're done with the assembly guide, let's see, then you have your cut guide. And so it kind of helps you out on your cutting. Some people use this guide, some kind of just go with it after you've done so many of them. You know, you kind of get the gist of it, but it's a nice, it gives you the best ability to cut the fabric and, you know, kind of save on it. So that it gives you the best options to cut, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. And let's see, there's 44 pages of that one. So pretty big. Almost there. Okay. Then the next section are your actual templates. So the clear envelopes, I use close, and I put the color label at the top so I can finger to find the colors, fabrics. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of doing here. So that's what these labels, a lot of people use these for. If I can find it again. Here we go. Yeah, so these labels are what she's talking about. And so the people will print these onto labels and then use them as labels and put them as little tabs on here so that you can find them really easy. So those are really neat to do. And then you have your actual pattern here. Now, some of these patterns are a little bit easier to do because you've got your nice big pieces. So here you've only got 2 pieces of fabric that you're putting together. So this is a really quick one that you can get done. Some people start by just pulling out all the easy ones and get those done and out of the way. And then you're going to have ones that are going to have these really tiny pieces that you need to put together. And there is quite a few of those on this particular design because of the eye area that I was showing you earlier. So it's going to be a little challenging, but you know, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Here's another one that's kind of easy in the top, and then you've got a whole bunch of little pieces on the bottom that you have to do. So organizing this to make sure that all your templates are in the right place, I would recommend making a copy before you get started, because if you mess it up, you have the other copy, right? So I would always make a copy of it just to have it on hand. And then, you know, it's really just about organizing yourself and getting the right tools in place to be able to do it. Yeah, paper piecing is a lot of fun. And what I like about paper piecing, it really allows you to get those really intricate designs. So if you really look at the top of the owl, especially that face area, there's so much detail on there that, you know, it's really, let me see if I can get this one so you guys can see. There's so much detail just in that eye area. It really makes it stunning to be able to hit all of those points. And it's going to be a challenge. I know that, but that's okay because it's just stunning. The outcome is really amazing. And they've got so many different designs that you can do, but I decided to go with this one. This is a small one. Let's see, the finished quilt top size is only 30 by 40 inches. So not too bad. It's not a big one. They do have the larger ones, but I chose to kind of start off with a small one. Yeah, that's what it finishes at. It's 30 by 40 inches is the finished quilt top size. So there's 75 different colors and 687 pieces. So yeah, this is design number 44. And let me just give you a quick look at the fabrics that they give you. So on here, hair is just everywhere today. There we go. So these are the fabrics that correlate with this particular design, and they label all the fabrics. So you have them corresponding to the color guides that they give you. Okay. So if you're looking for, you know, LB, you can find it here. And you'll be able to kind of see what that is. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And I have it upside down from me. So you'd have to find it in the list. I'd have to look at the list. But they've got all the different colors marked with the color code, as well as the name of the color, and the dimensions of each piece that they're giving you, which is really great. And this kind of, it's pretty thick. So they do give you all of the fabrics, but they do tell you that they give you the fabrics, but if you mess one up and you need another piece of whatever it is, let's say it's AA right here, if I mess that up, I can always call Legit Kit and tell them, hey, I'm working on this particular design of this size and I need this fabric piece. Because I totally screwed it up, and they will send you another one for free, which is really awesome of them. So, you know, I really like that, and that kind of really sold me because they really want you to complete the project. So I like that they really help you out with that. And you can always call them for assistance as well. But they do give you a foundation paper piece kit. It's kind of like a little user guide to help you with putting all this together and getting started and laying things out and things like that. So a lot of detail in here. It takes a while to kind of read through all of this. Make sure you understand it before you get started. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm kind of reading through the material, organizing myself, getting myself all together, and then we're going to start this paper piecing project. Love your show. Helps me get my day started. Oh, thank you. Big Lucy fan. I'm a big Lucy fan. How many of you guys watched I Love Lucy? I loved that show. Awesome, awesome. I love that we get to see Miss Nancy 6 days a week now. Oh, thank you. Something about her energy and good vibes. Love it. Well, thank you. I'm glad that I can make your morning a little bit better. You know, some of us are morning people and some of us aren't. But I just like to get in here and get some time in my craft room before I have to start my day with my regular job. So I like to get in here, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it as well. So, this is what I have for the kids. So I have everything here that I wanted. I need to now just sit down and start organizing it, and then make sure I have all my tools in place, and then I'm going to be ready to get started. So what I figured I could do is, as I am embroidering the farm quilt, I'm going to start to kind of organize this legit kit set and get myself ready to get this thing going. So as I do that, let me show you some of the items that I have to kind of help me get started with this. And I'll show you some of the tools that I'm going to be using for this. So let me try to slide this into the bag here, just so I can put this away. I think I'm stuck on the side. There we go. Alrighty. Okay, so let me set this over to the side because we'll be doing some of that tonight. And I wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about paper piecing and what I want to do before I even start on the legit kit, since it has been a while since I paper piece. I kind of want to re-familiarize myself with the process, and so I do have a couple things that I did to kind of help me out with that, because, you know, it's been some time since I paper pieced. So I want to make sure that I kind of remember the flow of it. Because honestly, once you get into it, it's all about maintaining the flow. And it's the same steps, repetitive over and over and over and over and over again. You get into this flow and it just makes it go so much faster. So here's some of the tools that I have on hand for that. So one of the things that I have is the add a quarter ruler. Now, you don't have to get the add a quarter ruler, but man, does it make it so much easier. I can tell you that I did get, there's ones that you can get just the short one, or you can just get the long one, or you can get them both. I got this a couple years ago, and this, you know, just makes it easier. I got both sizes because I was doing different types of paper piecing of different sizes. And what makes it really nice is that the ruler has a little lip underneath here. And so it allows you to kind of capture the edge of your project, and as you bump it up, like, you really can't mess it up, you're always going to have that 1/4 inch, because that little bump is that 1/4 inch seam allowance. So it bumps it right up against your project, and then you go ahead and you make the cut, and you're always going to have that perfect 1/4 inch seam. So it just makes things so much easier. So I've got it in the 2 different sizes because it really depends the size of your paper piece that you're doing. Some of them are smaller than others. So I do use that, and that's definitely something that I will be using with the legit kits. Now, to kind of prep myself and get myself kind of more acquainted with some of these things, I did have, this is an old book that I got. I believe it was in Hobby Lobby. They had a whole bunch of books on sale, and they got this on clearance for like $3.73. But I think it's really, really nice. This is, and they've got all kinds of paper piecing books that you have, and some of them come with templates like this one did here. And it shows you all kinds of little tips and all kinds of things that you can use when you're paper piecing. At first, it can be a little bit confusing because you're not sure exactly what it is you're supposed to be doing with the paper piecing. But once you get into it and you start doing a couple of them, you'll understand it totally. And then you'll start seeing all the different methods that you can use. You have your foundation paper piecing paper that you can buy. This one I got, it's a June Taylor. It's called Perfect Piecing Foundation Sheets. You can get these off of Amazon or online anywhere. And these, all this is a very light paper, almost like a newsprint type paper that is transparent. And so it'll allow you to be able to see the pattern underneath. And so you will kind of use these. Some people kind of hold it up to the light just to kind of see if their fabrics are covering the pieces that they need to. If you have a little light box like I do, I have the cutter, and that light box is amazing because it really lets you see if your fabric is covering the entire area, and it helps you kind of get the paper piecing going a little bit easier. But these things can be a little pricey. So, especially if you're doing a lot of paper piecing, you're constantly buying these sheets. These come 50 blank sheets to a pack, but you can just use newsprint. I've seen some people go to the dollar store. Yes, Robin, newsprint paper from Amazon, exactly, because newsprint tears off just as easily. What you're really looking for when you're looking for the paper, you want something that will tear easily when you're done, because you're going to put some strain on your stitches when you're removing the paper, and you don't want your stitches to pop. Right, so you want to make sure that it's something that easily tears, and you want it to be translucent like a newsprint. If you go to the dollar store, you can find newsprint coloring sheets, like they come in like a little drawing pad. You can use that. That works totally well as well. It was almost the same thing. This is just a little bit better because it does tear off a little bit easier, but I've seen that work just as well. And I think the trick to that, to using a kind of cheaper quality paper, is really on the stitch length. Make sure that when you are stitching and doing your stitches on your paper piecing, make sure that your stitch length is like 1.8 or 2. 2.5 would be like the max that I would do for a stitch length. You want it to be very short stitches so that they perforate when you are tearing it off. It makes it a lot easier for you to tear the paper off when they have these little short stitch lengths. If you make them longer stitches, they're not going to hold down as well, and it's going to be more difficult to tear the paper off. So always make sure that when you're doing this kind of a project that you check your stitch length and make them very short. Okay, so this is one option that you have. Using the paper piecing that you can buy at the store. You can use newsprint. Make sure, again, it's translucent and it tears easily. The other option that you have is you can use freezer paper. This is just a brand that comes in the sheets. You can just buy it by the roll of freezer paper and cut it down to size. And the freezer paper is a little bit better because you can reuse your templates over and over and over again. So it will last a little bit longer, especially if you have the same template that you're kind of being repetitive on. It makes it a little bit easier for you to not waste so much paper because you can use the freezer paper sheets. That will help as well. So I haven't really done too many. I've done a couple with the freezer paper. Matter of fact, I can kind of compare, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. Let me just pull out. This is my little scrap box for those kinds of projects. It's paper piecing, English paper piecing as well. And so the way I have this, I kind of have a little scrappy box where I've got all my little hexagons on here. I've got some little projects that I've been working on, but I do have some paper piecing projects that I've done in the past. Some of them were failures, some of them were good. This was kind of me on my learning journey as I was going along. And so I want to show you, I believe, I should still have it in here. Yeah, here's one. So let me see if I find, yeah, okay. So here's one that I have. And this was a paper piecing project that where I used the paper. This is the June Taylor paper, which is the one we were looking at before, this one here. And so you can see here, this is what the paper piecing project looked like. And so you sew on the line, and then you will cut a 1/4 inch away from the line. And so that's how your project kind of turns out. And then when you're done, you will remove the paper from the back. And once you do that, I think I have one without the paper here. Here we go. Here's one without the paper. Once you take the paper off, you'll get your actual project. So what I like to do in order to prevent a lot of fraying that can happen, I will keep the paper on the project up until the point that I'm ready to start piecing them together. That kind of eliminates it from fraying as much, and it kind of helps keep things in place. So I do it that way. Now here's the freezer paper that I used. You can see it's just freezer paper, kind of slides a little bit on there. This is the front where I've printed it, and on here on the back is where you can use it over and over again, which is pretty cool. And so you make all your little creases on the line, and you follow the instructions depending on the project that you're doing. But these are some of the paper piecing projects that you can make. This one's a good practice one just to kind of get it going, and I may just do a couple with you as we kind of continue on this journey. So these are very easy to do. Now, if you want to make your own design on paper piecing, you can do that as well. And this is what I did. I was kind of playing around, how can I design my own paper piecing project? And I just made a very basic, simple little design where you have your box, and I just drew the 3 lines and 3 little pieces, and then I tried it out just to see how it would look, and this is what it came out to be. And this was one that I just totally did on my own. And so you just kind of can create your own designs, and there's so many things that you can do. There's a number of rules that you do have to abide by when you're creating your own. You know, there's certain lines that you can't cross, things like that, but they're pretty simple. You just have to kind of really keep focused on what you want to create, and then start to draw the lines and draw the design out. And then once you're done, you know, you give it a try and see how it comes out with fabric. So, you know, that works pretty well. And then once you get more comfortable with projects like this that are pretty simple, you can start venturing out into different things. And so you can do things like a star, and you can change up the fabrics and things like that. This one still has the paper on it, so it becomes a little bit more complex, where now you have a little bit more. Let's see if I can hold it this way, maybe with 2 hands. You can see here all the intricate little pieces start getting put together, and you have all of these points coming in. Okay, and so when you flip it over, you're going to see all the little pieces that need to get pieced together. Now, doing that just with a regular sewing machine without paper piecing is going to be really difficult. You've got all this bias stretch going on. So the beauty about paper piecing is paper piecing allows the paper to serve as the foundation, and it gives you that stabilizer. And so that is what holds everything together, keeps it from stretching, especially when you're working on the bias. And so it allows everything to stay together and allows you to sew it. And then the paper itself just keeps everything together. And then when you're done with your block, you can go ahead and remove the paper because now it's done its job and your block is completely pieced together. So really nice techniques. Very interesting how the whole thing kind of comes together. Then you can do some other fun things, like you've got a little chicken here that you can kind of put together here. This one had a lot of things going on as well on the back. And so there's all kinds of different projects that you can do. Then I had some that were good and I had some that failed. These were little butterflies. This one does not have the paper on the back. I've already removed it. So I've got that one going on. This was another butterfly. This one does have the paper on it, so I can show you both sides. So here's the front. And then, you love the chicken, Robin? I do too. You know I love my chickens. So you can see it can get more and more difficult as you make more elaborate type projects. Now, this was one of my first disasters. This one was just a failure all the way around for myself. I was trying to do a ladybug and it just fell apart. I did not do a good job at all. It came out very wonky and was not anything that I liked, but I kept it to remind me, you got to keep trying. So I'm not going to let this stop me. And so, I would keep trying and doing all kinds of little projects. So these are some of the items that, I was able to kind of pull together, and I wanted to kind of just share those with you because we all start on a journey, right? This is something that, you start with something very simple. You start to understand the craft. You learn a little bit about it, and then you kind of just keep going. Do you see through the paper? Yes, that's very important. The paper that you select needs to be transparent. Now, if you have a light box, that'll work really great. That really helps a lot. But you can see here, this paper is very transparent, and you can see the design behind it. That is a must because you need to be able to see where you need to place your fabric. So if I were doing this design, for example, let's see. Let me just grab a little piece here. I would need to know where you're putting your fabrics is going to be on the back side of the paper, not on the front. It's not going to be like this. It's going to be on the back of the paper, like this. So that's why this needs to be transparent. A lot of people kind of just hold it up to the light to make sure that your fabric is covering the entire piece that you are doing. Okay, so your very first piece is going to be somewhere in the middle. Most of these projects are labeled either by number or by letter, and you just follow that order. It's very important that you follow the order. And then once you have that piece, then you're going to join it with your second piece, and I'll just grab a different one here. Let me grab a pink. And so when you grab that, you're going to kind of do, if it's had a design on it, it would be right size together. Okay, and then what you would do is then you would just follow this and make sure that your second fabric, once you've sewn it together, you're going to be bringing it over like that. And you're going to want to make sure that that folded piece that you have together now is going to cover your next piece on the paper. Can you print on that paper? Yes. Yes. So this is the paper. It allows you to go ahead and put it into your printer, and you will print out your design on here. And then that's what you would use for your project. Same thing on the freezer paper. This is the Quilter's freezer paper sheets. You will print the design on here. They actually even give you a free design, and you will print them onto the sheet, and then you would use that sheet for your projects. And you would use the freezer paper one over and over again. And then this one, you would only use like the one time, like you'll print it, you're going to be cutting it away into pieces, and so you'll use the entire sheet. But you definitely want to make sure that it is transparent, as you can see here. Okay. So these are just some of the tips and some of the things that will allow to prep you to get your mindset ready for the things that you're going to need to do when you're doing those paper piecing projects. Some of the other tools that I use is a little roller. This is just a little roller. I don't even remember where I got it from, but there's all kinds of different rollers that you can get. It's very helpful when you are kind of turning it over. This will help bring down the seam and lay it more flat to the paper. So that's very helpful. And then of course I will have a little fabric glue sticks. There's all different ones that are out there. Sewline has one. This is what theirs, and you can see I use this one quite a lot. And then they also have the refills that are available that you can get. So I definitely will have a couple of refills for that. Then you have Quilter Select. They also have one as well. And there's probably all kinds of different brands. It really doesn't matter. Some people even use the Elmer's glue stick. You know, it's whatever's going to work for you. And of course you can get refills to all of that stuff. Let's see. Keep the beginner one to see how far you've come. Yes, definitely. I keep all of mine in my little, this is kind of like my little storage box for paper piecing and for all kinds of other little projects. I've got little squares. When I've got leftover fabric, I cut them up into little squares, and I keep the little stack here. And so when I've got enough, I'll be able to make a little quilt with these, right? Same thing with my little hexagons. I kind of use that as well and keep them going. You use the Elmer's glue stick? Yeah, and that totally works as well. You know, you don't have to get these specific ones. These kind of, I think, came in a kit or something at first when I bought something. So I got them, and that's how I've been using it. So those are all the items that I have that's going to help me. Of course, I also have the cutter light box. So I'll try to set that up for when we're ready to do some paper piecing. I'll have that set up and show that to you guys, and then we'll actually do some together. So that'll be a lot of fun. So I'll set myself up for all of that. But these are the main tools that I'm going to be using for that. So I hope that that was really helpful. If this is something that maybe you guys are interested in doing some paper piecing with me, if you have some of those tools, get them ready. And then we can do some stuff together. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, so let me grab us. Let's see. Yep, we need to move over to our segment. Let me get you guys the inspirational quote of the day because we're running out of time here. So let's get that going. Okay, so our inspirational quote of the day is, "Determination behind every handmade piece is a person who never gave up." Awesome. And that's kind of our theme for today. As you can see, you know, I shared with you all of the projects that I had, and, you know, and some of them not so great, right? So we've had some that were not so good, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I am determined to continue to go and to go ahead and make some of these and make them great and continue on improving myself. So I hope you guys do the same. All right, so this is the fun part. Let's get some giggles going since we've got our top comedy 5. So let's bring that on. Okay, so today's top comedy 5 is, if I were to design a fun mug, it would say, number 5 is, stop the car, I see a craft store. I think I can relate to that one. I think many of us can, right? All right, number 4, if I were to design a fun mug, it would say, this is my workout machine. Yeah, that's my workout for the day. All right, and then we have number 3. It might look like I'm listening, but in my head, I'm sewing something fabulous. Yeah, that I can relate to that one as well. I think you guys can too, right? All right, number 2. If I were to design a fun mug, it would say, in my dream world, fabric is free and quilting makes you thin. Well, then I'd be the thinnest person there is, right? All right, on our number 1, if I were to design a fun mug, it would say, number 1, I love quilting with my peeps. Yes, and I do, and I love them that you guys are here with me. Awesome. So these are some really cute, fun mug designs. And if you guys are interested, we have them available on our shop. If you'd like to get a little mug, go ahead and click on the link below. They'll take you to our store and you can see all the fun mugs that are available. So we thought it would be pretty cool to kind of just show some of these top 5s and then give you the ability to purchase them if you wanted to. So I think that was pretty cool. I hope you guys really enjoyed all of the comedy on that we give here, and I hope you have a great time today. So our hour is just about up and we need to head over to Becky's channel. So guys, go ahead and let's go over to Power Tools with Threads, because I'm sure she's got a great show lined up for us. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I really appreciate all of your support. I hope you guys have a great day today, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.